Hello and welcome to CEO Nights with Nyimpini. In this podcast, we get up close and personal with some of the most admired leaders, not just in South Africa, but around the world. You get to be a fly on the wall in a relaxed peer-to-peer conversation between two senior leaders outside of the boardroom. Our guests share their life and leadership journeys just like I did in my best-selling book, Take Charge. Take Charge inspired this podcast. Make sure you grab a copy at your nearest bookshop or listen to the audiobook, which is now available at all major platforms. Thanks to our main sponsor, Nedbank, and Avis Chauffeur Drive for driving our guests safely and in style, plus Heineken beverages for the drinks. Good evening and welcome to CEO Nights with me, your host, Nyimpini Mabunda. By show of hands, who's attending the live recording for the first time? Wow, amazing. I mean, that is the magic of my guest, because over 90% of you are here for the first time. So I need to orientate you on how we do things here at CEO Nights. We have something called Vulamlomo, meaning that I will not continue or proceed or speak up until you've given me the energy. And the way that the Vulamlomo works is that you need to shout at the top loudest that you can for me and for my guests. So let's try. Good evening. Good evening. My mouth remains closed. Good evening. Welcome to CEO Nights with me, Nyimpini. It's obvious that I'm feeling myself this evening. And part of the reason is that I think I'm biased, but for my sponsors, Chepa, this is the best look you've given me so far. So please give my sponsors a big hand of applause. I've been getting a lot of compliments. Every show I get compliments, but tonight has been very special. But the reason also I'm getting a lot of compliments is that my outfit is beautifully complemented by my Bathu shoes. It's called Journey because tonight we are walking the journey. And talking about Bathu, that's the subject of our guest this evening. He needs no introduction. He really doesn't. Because if you follow international magazines or international media, whether it's CNBC, Forbes, all the international titles and all the local big titles, he's been on the cover, he's been awarded, he's been interviewed, he's been featured. So he's very well known because he's done amazing work, not just for his brand, but for the community and for the country. He is a philanthropist. He's very well known for really wanting to, or challenging himself to have 1 million shoes donated to underprivileged children, amongst the many things that he does. But Bathu is more than a shoe brand, it's a mission. What my guest has done is to really turn a shoe brand into a strong mission, a mission to empower the next generation of entrepreneurs. It's very rare that you find a young entrepreneur really recognizing the need to give back and build as he goes. And I think that is what inspired. We'll hear the story, but that's probably inspired Walk the Journey. Ladies and gentlemen, from the dusty street of Pake village near Hammanskraal, to the grind in Alex, my guest tonight has really walked the journey. He is one of the most awarded business people in South Africa by far, and he's just started.
Hi, my name is Theo Baloyi. I'm the founder and Group CEO of Bathu Group. So today people can expect, to hear more about my journey. And I think just to hear about, the CEO when he has left the office and, the CEO, not the one who's in a desk, but the one who is a human being. And yeah, I just want to also share about the state of affairs of retail, state of affairs of our country, and together we can collectively build, and how do we build a better South Africa for all.
So please join me as we welcome the founder and the Group CEO of Bathu, Theo Baloyi. Make some noise! Theo, welcome.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Evening.
Good to have you.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, indeed. I am curious though, because you are sought after. Global media platforms, as I said, you're highly awarded, and everyone wants to hear from you, whether it's inspirational, the story, and you could be on much bigger platform. We took a chance to invite you here, and it gets me wondering, why are you here? Why did you say yes to us? We're like a small fish.
Evening, everyone. Wow. I mean, I think obviously it goes without saying that you don't mention corporate South Africa without mentioning Mr. Nyimpini Mabunda, well respected in corporate South Africa, a brother that I look up to, admire your work too, and I thought, why not just come and also share a story, and hopefully I can be a point of light to amazing people and to our amazing audience today.
Oh, fantastic. No, thank you for that. It's very, very, very kind of you. And actually, I wanted to start on a celebratory note.
Yeah.
Because in July, Bathu turned 10 since the registration. I mean, please stand up and it's worthy of some celebration,
Thank you.
And just
Thank you guys.
Those who follow entrepreneurial journeys and entrepreneurs will know that over 90% of them barely make it past the first year.
Yeah.
Sadly. And it's a massive milestone. And we chose to play Theo Baloyi to accompany that celebration because I believe you've been selling perfumes and shoes from the back of your boot.
Yes.
How amazing is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where the journey began. That's where the entrepreneurial bug bit me.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that in your intro you actually mentioned, where it all started, being at Pake, where I come from, and where my journey began when I got to Alex.
Yeah.
Because that's where the entrepreneurial bug bit me. And that's why wherever I go, I always try to mention that because I learned a lot during that period. And it taught me a lot about that journey, about balancing ambition and reality.
Indeed, it's a balance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a balance, because I was in Alex, I was ambitious, and I had to start, where I was with that reality.
Yeah.
And my reality was that I had to then go sell door-to-door perfumes while I was studying for my, undergrad. And same story with Bathu.
Yes.
I wanted to build this big business, and I had a big vision, and I didn't have much, to start with, but I had a car.
Yeah.
So I had to then take my stock and put it,
mobile retailing.
Mobile retail. The ambition was here, but my reality was here. So I think it's a great balance of reality and ambition.
So what they today call e-commerce of your big Amazon, you've been doing it door to door. It's the same thing, eh? You just didn't have the app.
I probably started with Jeff, I could understand what you're trying to do.
I love it. One thing that I'm curious about, though, with your accounting background, and I know you worked for PwC, is sometimes accountants are perceived to be like number crunchers, introverts behind a computer doing what they have to do. But for you to sell door to door, not just perfumes, but also the shoes, where did you get your selling skills? I mean, you got to be convincing, especially selling unknown brand at the time.
Yeah. So I think for me, I said it earlier, that's where the entrepreneurial bug bit me. The story behind selling perfumes, it was inspired by just living in Alex. Don't know if you've been to Alex, but you know, it's an interesting community from how it's set up, demographics and so forth, right?
Yes.
One thing that I realized about that community is that, you know, people like consuming different types of stuff. People like looking good and so forth. But I realized that not all of them or everyone can actually afford, right, the right cosmetics or, you know, or have the affordability to buy the things that they want. So I went, you know, to my best friend who's here with us, Andrew, and I said, dude, there's actually this opportunity. We can actually bring about oil-based perfumes in the community.
Okay.
But we didn't have the money, the seed capital to start that business.
Yes.
But we knew a guy who lived in 2nd Avenue during the days of, I think it was in 2010.
Yeah.
Gautrain and so forth, who sold ties and cufflinks.
Yes.
And Gautrain, people used to commute, a lot of young professionals would commute then, you know, predominantly with Gautrain.
Yes.
And we went to him and we got the stock on consignment and sold at Gautrain, you know, the ties and cufflinks and corporate parks.
I
and
see that
yeah,
station there. I see. Yeah.
And with the proceeds from that, then we started the perfume business.
Yes.
And that exposed me to a lot. You know, I learned a lot from, you know, basic skills. I mean, selling, marketing, engaging with consumers. And that's when I fell in love with business. You know, the idea of commerce at large, you know, and selling.
So does this have something to do also with your, I believe you grew up also in a retail business, so there's a bit of a background. Was there some selling happening there?
Yeah.
Because I mean the transaction and customer service, it takes a bold person to approach a stranger and say, would you like to have something, sir?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, now that you mention it, actually I think about it. My late dad on Saturdays used to sell socks.
Yeah.
You know, at the farms, you know. So where I come from at Paki, there's the neighboring community there. There's a lot of farms. And people go there, you know, to work, obviously. Yeah. And on Saturdays, would go there and actually sell socks and like different types of things. Yeah. So that's where I think I fell in love with the art of selling.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very, very important one. 10 years. What are your highlights, not from a business point of view? We know about the 33 or 35 outlets. We know about the over 400 or 500 employees. Yeah. We know, congratulations, about the beautiful new warehouse and all of that. Yeah. But I want to talk about from your journey as a leader. Yeah. What growth have you experienced in your leadership? What have you learned?
I've learned quite a lot in the last 10 years. And I think the beauty about, you know, corporate and having worked for one of the top 4 accounting firms is that I was exposed to great leadership. You know, a lot of times when you talk corporate, people talk about office politics and and not so great managers and so forth. I won't lie, I've been very fortunate. I've worked for great managers at PwC that have awarded me and afforded me great opportunities. And I think that's where, you know, I learned about leadership, all things leadership, from being inclusive, diversity, leading with empathy and understanding, exercising empathy before judgment, making time for people, you know, people before profit, you know, we care strategies for people, the importance of human capital in a business. It is about people. It is about people, you know. So I started off with from an organization that embodied that. So when I went to my own business, I understood very well what that means. And obviously, coming from Alex, you are brought up by community. You know, Ubuntu.
The whole spirit of
Ubuntu. The whole spirit of Ubuntu. So you also carry that with you when you go into business and become a leader. You know, because you understand that we come from different backgrounds. Yes. We've got different skill set, and you know that inclusion is very important. And at where I worked, and even at Bathu now, just because you're good at something does not mean that you need to overlook the next person who might not be strong in that area, you know. So you actually need to try to complement one another. And that leadership has always been a part of me. And
you're talking about very important thing about complement and bringing the diversity of skills, because we're stronger together.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I've learned about you is you're great at talent spotting. I believe that there's some people who really started at the bottom, like as drivers and working in the warehouse, who are assuming managerial positions.
Yeah.
And very quickly, and you take a risk on people. How important? Because the people sitting here, some of them are people managers, some of them, they want to grow in their career, but succession planning and leading people is one of the toughest things to do as a leader.
100%, yeah, it is. I mean, I think in our case, because of the genesis of our business, was based on community and people. You know, I always say this, that I was not fired, guys, at PwC. You can go check.
Yes.
I had a great career. I was actually up for promotion. My bosses loved me, right? I didn't do anything bad. I still talk to Mam Sheli Machaba till to this day, right? But the genesis of our business was being a guy who comes from Alex, you know, who's been awarded great opportunities, got 100% bursary to further their studies, to work for one of the top 4 accounting firms, not only in South Africa, but in the UAE.
Yeah.
And then this guy finds himself in the UAE doing very well in corporate, propelling, and looks, whenever he comes back home, he sees the state of affairs of his community. A lot of people are unemployed, predominantly the youth. They're at the verge of giving up. Some of my peers, you know, don't have jobs. And when I listen closely to these stories, I realize that a lot of them are where they are, not because of or by choice or design, but predominantly because a lot of them haven't been awarded opportunities that some of us have been awarded.
Yeah.
So do I become a guy who sits in the UAE, fancy offices, my suit and tie, 3-piece.
And in tax-free.
And in tax-free 4 times, 4 times what I was earning in South Africa.
Indeed.
And then look down upon people in Alex and say, you guys are lazy, and blame government and whatever. Or do I actually become a guy who leaves, you know, dead and takes a leap of faith, go back home, you know, with an effort to reignite hope and create sustainable jobs.
Wow.
And that's the core of our business. That is the genesis.
That's the value, that's
and
the
that's
purpose,
the heart of our business.
Nedbank private clients get rewarded with greenbacks. Get up to 30% off on flights with Greenbacks Travel on Avo and up to 2% unlimited cashback on all Nedbank Amex card purchases. Plus, even more rewards on Fridays. Join Nedbank private clients today. See money differently. Nedbank.
I've heard some people saying that profit and NPO or community or CSI sometimes are in conflict. The profit motive, you know, and when you give in or you are strong in philanthropy, then you've got to discount the Bathus and give them away because you need to help. But yet you are in a for-profit business. How do you balance the two? Because sometimes when you have a good heart and you give in, you can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I believe that for great businesses to grow, to be sustainable, to be competitive, and to do very well, everything talks to strategy.
Yeah.
But strategy does not necessarily mean profit today. I think that's where a lot of people miss it.
Yeah.
That, you know, everyone looks at the bottom line, KPIs for the year, targets for the year, but no one wants to connect to the future consumer. Because that's why our tagline says, okay, journey. Because we don't only walk the journey with our current consumer, but with the future consumer. The future consumer may not have money to contribute to your bottom line today. Yeah. But in future, because what you've done for them when they didn't have,
they stay loyal. They become loyal to you. Yeah.
And that's strategy. And that does not necessarily mean profit today, but it means profit in the future.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about that actually, now that you've brought the subject, because some of the big footwear brands are going through challenges at the moment. And I've been looking, they are listed. You look at Adidas results, down 30%, so is Nike. They're really going through a rough time. And what we're seeing globally, and especially in the US, is some of the small brands like Alu and even Hawker really coming up. How do you stay relevant? Because some of them are saying that they've lost that fashionability and the relevance, and obviously they've had some big fallout with some of the people who have been endorsing them. But how do you stay on top? It's tough at the top. In 10 years, you know, you need to keep on recruiting. How do you stay relevant? Because it's yeah.
So I was saying earlier to someone that we sell shoes, right, in our business. But when you go to Bathu in our boardrooms, we get into meetings with the team, be it in different types of committees, and we engage, and we don't even talk about shoes.
Yeah.
Right. It's a meeting, and the conversation and the agenda has nothing to do with shoes. We don't talk the product per se, but we talk many things from consumers.
Yes.
To strategy, to where the market is at, right?
Yeah.
And for us is we balance and we try to communicate to two most important people. And in our business, our philosophy is that the consumer is our investor.
Oh, wow.
And that is the current consumer, the guy who goes and buys Bathu today, and our future consumer. Because in between, then we have insights as to what is the next play. Because there's a future consumer who, probably will come up with trends in the future. There's a current consumer who we need to answer to today's trends. And in between lies gaps that we identify. And that keeps us relevant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that, and I really like that, but even with great strategies and fantastic brand that you have, it gets tough out there.
Yeah.
And you have missteps or things that you didn't see coming. Just give us a flavor of some of the most stressful moments in the last 10 years, and how do you build resilience or bounce back? Because many leaders here, I mean, CEO Nights with Nyimpini is about learning from highly successful CEOs and founders like yourselves that inspires the journey of these up-and-coming young leaders. So how do you deal with those big knocks and stress? And just give us a flavor.
Just, if I can give you context before I answer that. I always said this philosophy and study that when you look at the nature of our business and where we started from Kokasi in Alex, and then you look at, previously what that is known for. Each and every township in South Africa has at least one or two general dealers that services the entire community. You all know it.
Yes.
The Baloyis, right? And
yeah.
the what that services what general dealer. Right? We all buy bread there. Some of us were born, that general dealer was there. Our grandmothers went to that general dealer. Our parents went to that general dealer.
Yeah.
But it was quite interesting that general dealer never scales to be a ShopRite. It never corporatizes to be a ShopRite or a big retailer that is listed.
Yeah.
But it was there for 30 years. You know the Kumalos, the corner house, the richest in the community? They've got 100 cabs.
Yeah.
Right? 100 taxis, and they're the richest in the township.
Yeah.
That business never scales to be an Uber business. And you look at Bathu where it started. Same.
Yes.
I was very clear about how to go about that, to corporatize quite early.
Yeah.
I was born in a township, but I'm not going to be a township business.
Yeah.
I'm going to scale it to be a global business. And in so doing, there were many challenges. Because you start, at some point when I started, I would have 40 orders a day. And the next, I do PR run, and I've got 100 orders. I go in the streets, and I call a few guys without the right human capital, onboarding processes. We pack boxes and we deliver. And the next day is the same thing, right? That's how I started the business. Yeah. And how do you take that business, corporatize it, bring the right skill set and the right professionals, and sustain the growth? That has been the most difficult, challenge for me, because for a guy who would just give you a call and say, can I take off today?
Yes.
Because I need to go help my grandmother with something. And you're like, sure.
Yeah.
They need to then file a leave application. Or put an application for, how do you explain to that guy that you only have 15 or 21 leave days?
It's no longer about, hey, what's up?
When we were stealing from the boot of the car, I could just tell you and take 2 days off, right? And come back to work. Now you're telling me that I don't have leave days.
Yeah.
What's leave days? So no leave days, like, what's this now, So those are the challenges, right? I think that was the big challenge, to corporatize that startup. Two was, generally, there was this connotation, I think it has changed now, that, local brands, they die quite, 2-3 years. It's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Local brand is not of great quality. right, as compared to international footwear brands, the brands that you just mentioned.
Yes.
There was that connotation, and I had to deal with that a lot.
Wow.
When we started, people looked at me, like, kidding not, we're giving him 1-2 years.
Yes.
3 years at most.
Yeah.
Izophela le petrol, you know?
Hey.
This energy izophela. Literally.
We've seen this movie before.
Yeah, we've seen this movie before. You know, no one really built.
Yeah.
Sneakers even.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a chance that this guy is going to last 5 years.
Yes.
So those are the challenges that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, and until today now, the challenges are different 10 years later.
Yeah,
We're talking governance. We're talking regulation. We're talking compliance.
Yeah.
We're talking now expansion and governance in different territories if you want to expand the business.
We're talking sustainability.
We're talking sustainability, you know,
ESG
and many other things.
and all of that.
All of those things.
And an AI.
Yeah.
And as the world around us change, I mean, we're talking tariffs. How do you keep up? Because I think that's the challenge for leaders. The things that we've been trained for are not the things that are always confronting us today. We have to upskill as we go. How do you keep up with your own learning journey as a leader, as a professional? Because talk about corporates. You remember at PwC, there used to be corporate training.
Yes.
And then they have money to send you to Harvard or UCT and Gibbs.
Yeah.
How do you grow yourself?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, at Bathu as a whole, and I'll speak for Bathu, we have our human capital strategy says it's a we care strategy where we partner with our people, our internal stakeholders, and these are our employees, right? So, over and above everything else, we actually try to take them to different types of courses so that they can empower themselves, and, you know, that continuing that professional development is very key. And it's something that I've learned at PwC as well, you know, that you need to continue professional development. So for me, I mean, there's different types of ways of studying and keeping yourself empowered.
Yes.
I do have, people don't know, I just don't talk about it, but I do a lot of short courses as well.
Yes.
Just to empower myself.
Very good.
I try to read as much as I can. And I've been blessed. I mean, I have brothers that I can call.
Oh, for sure.
Whenever I have, like,
you're not shy to reach out and say, let's exchange ideas.
I've got great people that, you know, support me within my network that I can always call if I've got a challenge or I don't know how to navigate a challenge, you know.
Fantastic.
And that keeps me, you know, going and learning.
Let me take you back to this conversation about people, because I think it's just so fundamental. You empower people, you trust them, you train them. And I've had a good fortune, I suppose, of being in retail a little bit, if I can call it that. I was a franchisee of Nando's and I had 5 outlets. And people steal from you. They let you down. I can imagine retail and fraud and theft. And I was talking to this founder the other day. He's built almost R1 billion business. And he's been working with this CFO who's very close. They've been close together for a long time. Only to discover 5 years later that there was a 150 million hole in his books from a trusted friend. And there was a huge fallout. Have you fired friends? How do you deal with tough decisions like that? So this is life.
Yeah, this is life. True. I mean, I'll answer that in twofold, right? So the genius thing, when I look back now, and I think this was really genius, and I would encourage every other entrepreneur to try to do it, you know, depending on their affordability and their capability, right? Because scales are different. But the genius thing that we've done when I look back was to corporatize our business quite early, right? And I think, you know, having worked for PwC, I understood the importance of structure and corporatizing. So I was one day delivering shoes, the next day doing my P&Ls, the next day doing my, you know, vet returns, the next day trying to interview people to come and work at the warehouse. And I realized that this is not the right way of doing business. And I corporatized it and I got the right skill set. And I shopped around as to what is it that I'm good with and what is it that I'm not good at. Founders are very passionate about our business. We throw emotions into it. And I could see, being the person that I am, that this thing of me engaging with people, I'm going to end up, you know, having a fallout with a lot of people. So let me get someone who's qualified to do it within regulation and the Department of Labor, you know, processes and regulation, and they will manage that. Till today, I don't want IR issues on my desk. I don't want people issues on my desk. And I think when I look back, even though I didn't know that the business was scaled to be to be what it is today, but I did that quite early.
Yeah.
And that helped me to get into fights with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And I think the next thing is basically when you talk about risk, I'll call it risk.
Yes.
At Bathu, we don't call it theft, we call it creativity.
Not like creative accounting.
Right? Because people are creative.
Yes,
with their hands, with their minds,
Oh.
right? So each and every other business, irrespective of what sector you're in, there's always risk. And that is why risk management is so important.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people overlook risk management. Risk management is so important because it doesn't matter what sector you're in.
Yes.
There's always a risk. And in retail, like you said, creativity is one of the big risks, So I know someone who ran a very niche business, and he said, Theo, I order 5 shirts, 2 medium, 2 large, and 1 small. And the small will go missing and I can't find it. Because that's the risk. That's how much the risk occurs. So we have the right risk management, and I try to remove myself from all of those IR issues. And we've got a team that does risk, and across the business, not only in inventory, across the business. And I got the right people to manage that for us in the business.
Just going back to what you said about resilience and some of the challenges you faced in the last 10 years. 10 seems to be the magic number for you, maybe without even knowing.
Yeah.
But I've learned that, and part of the reason why you can deal with stress easily, so to speak, relatively speaking, is because I believe you're a fan of a team that creates a lot of stress
Are you gonna
for their followers.
Yeah.
And 10 is the magic number because this team, I'm told, up until recently, had not won anything for 10 years.
So I know stress
So
very well.
you do know stress very well. Eh?
Yeah, I'm very resilient. That tells me a lot.
But on a serious note, I've also learned, which I didn't expect, that in your high school days, you were a football player.
I actually wanted my dream, if I may tell the story, but my dream was to be a soccer player.
Wow.
I was that good, trust me.
Yeah.
I don't look it now, but best believe I was very good. And
amazing.
I had parents who really believed in me.
Yeah.
And
oh, wow.
my late dad didn't like the idea, as good as I was.
Yes.
And now I look back and I thank him, because I was also very good in accounting. And my late dad was an estate agent. So, whenever you do sales and transactions, you need a conveyancer, you need attorneys to do the registration of the property and transfer of properties.
Yeah.
So he'll always carry my grades, and my reports, and show his fellow colleagues.
Wow.
And they'll say, oh, he's so good with accounting. There's a shortage of black accountants in the country.
Of course.
So you should pursue that, But I was in love with the idea of becoming a soccer player.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, obviously for the reasons that we know, it's a short-lived career.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed, and you might not make it, and all of those type of things. And my dad was like, I don't think you should be a soccer player. You should actually just, pursue accounting.
Wow.
And because I was so good,
yes,
I got hurt. I broke my leg.
Oh no.
So when I broke my leg,
did your dad arrange that?
Maybe. Now that you mention it, maybe. And when I was injured, he was like,
holistic in the advice.
Yeah. And when I was injured, he was like, you see, if now you were a professional, and this was a career-ending injury, this would be it.
Wow.
And that's how my dream of becoming a soccer player actually ended.
And your dad was so committed to you getting your education that he sold his car. I mean, what did that teach you as a young men about sacrifice, because I think a lot of times as leaders, we have to make choices and trade-offs. And sometimes the fault we have is we try and want it all. And yet focus and prioritization gets you there.
100%. So I always say this, that my parents, my dad and both my parents actually have made a lot of sacrifices, for me to have the opportunities that I've gotten. And I think one of them is exactly that. I always look at it and feel like, and I felt like that at the time, that I was set up for greatness.
Wow.
Because
yeah,
as I mentioned, in 2008, my dad was an estate agent. So the economic crunch, 2008, couldn't sell any properties. I did very well in matric. And then I had to go to varsity. I didn't have any bursary. Then my dad said, don't worry, I don't have money, but I'll sell my car.
Wow.
And he sold, his Honda Ballade.
Beautiful car. My mom
beautiful
drove
car.
that. My mom drove that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
150.
Yeah. So with the proceeds of the car, then we obviously went to, you know how it works. You pay deposit.
Yeah.
And then you
You've
come
got
over the
collateral.
Yeah.
Maybe
Then you've got
cash,
then you got a payment plan. You know?
Yes.
So the payment plan, I think, from the difference could only last us for the first semester. So I had one big job.
Yeah.
In that semester to find a bursary.
Yeah.
And unfortunately I got the bursary.
From
so
PwC.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had one job that year. It's either I bring the degree.
Yeah.
It's either I bring the bursary or I bring back the Honda Ballade.
Wow, both difficult.
That was the deal. So
but
fortunately
you're
for me,
used to hard targets.
Yeah, hard targets.
That really drove you.
So I brought the bursary,
Yeah.
and then obviously, I then graduated, which my parents were happy and so forth. And I'm happy to say that today I bought back the Honda Ballade.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah.
Whoa. So Theo, let's just shift gears a bit. In 2 days, it's National Women's Day.
Yes.
We meet during a very special month, and we've got so many women here joining us. Yeah, happy Women's Day in advance. And I know that gender diversity and equity is very close to your heart.
Yeah.
So much so that you actually launched a special sneaker for it.
Yes.
908.
Yes. So, like I said, in how we stay relevant in our business, we do a lot of research and we try to understand where the market is, where the trends are. And the team at Bathu did a great research around women and what are we doing as a business, for women. And I actually didn't know this, that, women's sneakers are a big thing, it's a really big thing to have sneakers that are specifically designed for women. And last year we launched a product called 908, which is launched on Women's Day. And this is the 9th of August, 908. And this year we're actually launching the V2s. That was a great success. And then this year also we're launching, the version 2
of the 908.
Of the 908.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow. Congratulations on that. But can you just give us some reflections on some of the special women in your life and what you've learned from them or what they've taught you that still you use today as a leader?
Yeah, I'm fortunate that my mom is still alive. So I take great strength from her. And what I learned from my mom is, I think what I said earlier on, empathy. Very empathetic, very understanding, very supportive. She's one woman who does not just pass on judgment, irrespective of how bad the situation could be or the challenge before her.
Yeah.
She always tries to exercise empathy and, and try to see how she can best support us. Like I said, I referenced it that, I had very good parents that supported us.
Yeah.
And that allowed us to, exercise our own opinions and our own views. My mother is one woman that, really, really, I love her dearly. I respect her, and I'm privileged to still have her around.
Oh wow, that is very important.
Yeah.
But women have it hard, really, really tough, especially in entrepreneurship. But I mean, generally in corporate, there's all these initiatives to drive gender equality. But one stats, because I know you're a numbers guy, that strike me in terms of entrepreneurship is that only 2 to 3% of venture capital goes to women entrepreneurs today. And when you do a conference for entrepreneurs or SMEs, I mean, I know you do your journeys, walk your journey tour to inspire. Women are just not coming out enough in those spaces. Do you have any advice for that? Do you know what some of the barriers are? And as someone who cares about, I mean, you drive a movement, you drive equality, and so on. What's standing in the way, and what would you advise aspiring women entrepreneurs sitting here?
Good question. I think there's a saying that says behind every man, lies a powerful woman. And I believe women are really powerful.
Yeah.
And they are the forces that are actually going to change the narrative in the world, that are going to change where the global economy is at, And my advice is basically, there's something, I don't know how to say it, but I think there's a strength that lies in women, that once a woman identifies it, she becomes a force that, nothing can stop that woman. And my advice would be that I think it's about time that women actually identify that strength within them
and leverage it.
Because it's such a powerful quality to have, and it's a matter of just identifying it. I mean, in our business, we always look for that. We've got, I think 35% of our people that are employed in our business is women.
Wow.
We're doing something for our business on Women's Day, where we're buying, the women in the business gifts. And it's amazing how the role of leadership that is occupied, by women in our business. And we do that solely on the strength that, they carry. So my advice would be that, that look for that inner strength that lies within them, and be able to use that to change the world. Sorry, I think I've got a
sorry.
Cough. Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Wow. Concentration risk. Whether in life in general or for business. I'm just curious about some of the investments you've made lately, and that you've unveiled at your beautiful conference in Sun City. Into the value chain of fashion, I suppose, and other businesses, and also with you went back to the perfume business. Is it Second Avenue?
Avenue Exchange.
Avenue Exchange as well, and all of that. Is that part of your diversification? Not have all your eggs in one basket, or also is it the M&As? Are you seeing synergies, or what's your thinking there? Because I think from not just entrepreneurial point of view, but even people in corporate, strategy is important. Business development is important. Market entry into other spaces is important. But sometimes you can diverse too much and lose focus.
100%.
What's your thinking there?
So I think for us, more than an M&A strategy and beyond diversification, it's more about building in cohesion and building collectively. So I looked at the journey, Bathu's journey, and how it had matched from where it came from. And I realized one thing, and I think there's almost, people have exercised like a tone deaf approach towards the potential that lies in the township, in emerging retailers, because there's a lot of visionaries. And I looked at it at Bathu, I'm like, there's no way that it can only be Bathu. Can be that in every other 5, maybe 10 to 15 years, there's just one Makosa, one Tepo Jeans, and one Bathu. And we wait another 15 years for something to emerge. In no way that it could be Latuma and Theo and Tepo and many others that have in the last 15 years. Right? There should be many. So we have built this business. We've got an infrastructure. We've got a model. Let's go back and find the same talent, who's selling from the boot of their car. Because maybe Theo was a little bit fortunate that he went to school, he's got a corporate experience, was really fortunate to sort of put it together and find his way. But there's someone who has probably even more of a burning desire than Theo. But because of, different demographics and state of affairs, and they didn't have the opportunities that Theo had.
Yeah.
They can't scale their business. So let's birth Bathu Group and go back and look for these Theos.
Wow.
We've got a model that works. We've got an ecosystem that works. Let's build in cohesion. Let's build a collective of brands that we can all be proud of.
Wow. And it's so profound that you say that, because quite often we compete with each other for a very small pie.
Yeah.
Rather than make the circle bigger.
100%.
And we're like, if we cooperate and bring these ideas together and make available the ecosystem, and it actually has a multiplier effect even for your own business. You rather have a smaller share of a big cake than 100% of a tiny thing.
Yeah.
And that mentality is so powerful.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I'm actually part of the G20 Startup 20 ecosystem in the steering committee. And the startups and SMEs have just slowed down in South Africa, the ones that can scale. And yet we need that for employment. You talk a lot about youth unemployment and how painful it is even today to see that. But actually, that employment comes from small businesses that scale.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what some of the businesses like Discovery have done in 30 years.
Yeah.
Even Capitec, many people don't realize it's only 22 years old. And look at how huge it's become. And that's what Bathu is destined to be, and many others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Get a dedicated relationship banker, preferential rates, 100% home loans, travel and lifestyle perks, and access to wealth solutions. Get the complete private banking experience. Digital when you want it, human when you need it.
We have a section called CEO Like, where we have a little bit of fun.
Yep.
Because relatability is very important. People think that sometimes the CEOs are these super beings that don't do the normal stuff. So we want to demystify that.
Sure.
We already know you support
the best team.
Chiefs and
the best team,
right?
You can say the best team.
All right. We also know that you love house music. We have a research team.
Oh, okay.
That has told us that you love house music. But what was interesting about that, I imagine that you go to concerts and dance clubs and all of that where house music is alive at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. But I believe you don't do that, and actually you can't dance to save your life. Is that accurate information? Because we do have a speaker, so if you claim you can't dance, we'll play house.
The minute you started talking about music, I was like, don't ask me to dance. Please don't ask me to dance.
What do you do for fun when you sort of let your head down?
Yeah. So I enjoy either maybe chilling with my family. You know how we are. Like for me, my cousins are my brothers.
Yeah.
And my best friend, Andrew. Either we go at one other's house or we host them. I enjoy traveling as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I like doing advanced drives. I love the speed and going on the track.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that Kalami racetrack.
Racetrack.
Are you part of the bidding team to bring Formula One in? I think that will make sense.
No, I'm not part of it, but I hope they bring it. I hope they win the bid.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the racetrack and those kind of things. But other than that, I'm as ordinary as they come. I listen to my house music.
Yeah.
And watch the best team in the world.
I see. So, and what do you cook? What do you like eating?
I eat everything, eh?
Yeah? Take away, or you're useful in front of a stove?
No, I'm not that useful. Used to be. I used to be in varsity. I was like the master chef. Yeah. But not anymore. Yeah. But I eat everything. Yeah, I think that's one of the most interesting things.
Yeah.
Even when I travel, I don't mind exploring on food.
One of the things, though, and I write about this in my book, the importance of physical and mental well-being. We talked a bit about stress.
Yeah.
But you entrepreneurs and retailers, you've got extraordinary hours and travel a lot. How do you manage your energy? Because sometimes, I hear very busy people and CEO people, they drink a lot, they eat junk, and they don't sleep well.
Yes.
And that catches up with you.
Yeah.
Because, managing your health.
Yeah. So I think over the years, I've done a lot of work in, I wouldn't necessarily call it balance, but identifying what works for me.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day, we are different people. We have different blood types, we have different preferences and so forth.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of studies to what works for me. And one of the things that I really like doing is sleeping.
Yeah.
I don't deprive my sleep.
It's very important.
It's very important. I sleep, I try when I get the time to sleep. But I'm also one of those people who, like, there's a conflict. I try to train as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I don't eat clean.
Yeah.
You see, so there's always that.
Okay,
conflict.
so you cheat and then you try and fix it.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah, balance a little bit. Yeah,
but the gym and also trying to read as well, that also helps. But I try to sleep as much as I can.
Fantastic. Now, as we close this section, then we're going to take questions from the audience because they're dying to engage with you. What are some of the big misconceptions about entrepreneurship? And if you were to be brutally honest in advice, what would you say to those who are have a burning desire to be entrepreneurs? And it's something that we don't always say, but people need to hear.
I think, there's a lot of things that we can say. If I may be vulnerable, there's a saying that says, a lot of people like the idea and the picture of greatness, but hate the idea of risk. Right?
It's a risk.
And it's tough in that sense, that people will, and I when I engage with people, oftentimes, they engage from that context.
Yeah.
The greatness that they see, and shop around whatever that is great for them in this journey, and somewhat believe that it just happened. And there's a lot of things that in the journey that were not so pleasant. There was a lot of challenges. We've lost, we made wrong decisions and so forth, right, in the journey. But the beauty about entrepreneurship, and I think, people, you need to be in love with the process. And the process does not necessarily mean, it's going to be a great process. Progress compounds.
Yeah.
You don't just get to greatness and achieve your vision, right? You do it one day at a time. But I don't know how many times I've delivered so many shoes. Personally, I have delivered so many shoes.
You need to be on the ground, yeah.
And it took, I know it's 10 years and people feels like it's, too much growth or whatever the case might be, but it took a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, and it really sometimes gets really difficult.
Yeah.
Out there. But it's worth it. I think that's the beauty about it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty about entrepreneurship, and I believe this, that it always speaks to you. There's always an inner voice, whether be it from an idea or not. You always need to follow that inner voice. It's never loud. It whispers.
Yeah.
It catches you when you're having lunch with a friend.
Yeah.
It catches you when you're in the shower. It catches you sometimes when you're alone or you're driving. That voice is the one. And I think that's the signs of entrepreneurship. If you can just follow that.
The gut is so powerful.
So powerful,
Yeah.
and you're going to enjoy the journey, know.
So those the journey keeps on coming back.
The journey keeps on coming back. Yeah, so it's been, it gets really difficult, but it's worth it. You get to the office and you see the impact, and all of a sudden you want to do it again and again and again.
You've just triggered 2 quick questions, and audience, please bear with me, because with Theo, 1 hour is not enough. But success attracts admiration and following, but also sometimes wrong company. and people who just want to be associated, or people who want to bring you down. You know, jealousy.
Yeah.
Or people who are just not authentic, would not be your friends if you didn't have the beautiful car that you have. You stay in the suburb and you were not a Theo Baloyi.
Yeah.
How do you, because this happens to entrepreneurs but also to corporate executives, where you don't know who your real friends are and what people's intention is. And if you're not careful about sifting that through, you could end up being distracted, and then you lose focus on what you're trying to do. You've done very well in managing your reputation, your brand, and your association. But that takes discipline.
Yeah, I think for me, it happened by default. Maybe it's also like it boils down to character, you know, your personality. For me, I think the default part was, and I say this all the time, if I had it my way, because when I started Bathu, like I said, I came back home to reignite hope and create sustainable jobs.
Yes.
The public chose to position Theo, who started Bathu, you know, however way they position Theo, which is great, right? But I didn't start it for that. I didn't start because I wanted to, you know, be that. So it makes it easier for me to always be myself.
Okay, to be grounded.
To be grounded, because that's not why I started. And then number two, I think the biggest thing is I don't spend time in a trophy room. That's why I don't have a big head. Right? So that helps me a lot as well. And and from character point of view, you know, I keep the same friends that I've always had. That helps me a lot, and I just focus on what I need to do, because even the way I run my business, there's an executive who runs the business, who's employed to run the business, and there's a shareholder. Those are two different people. So I try to always look at that, the seat that I occupy.
Wow. And that takes a lot of discipline to not confuse those roles. You know? I mean, I grew up in a family business, and my dad always took out money to buy from his shop. You know, and a lot of entrepreneurs back then, you were talking about, this was the Mabunda general dealer. So I grew up in that environment.
Oh, you are one of those?
I'm one of those.
You're one of those, okay.
It was called Bathu, and people will just walk in, it's my shop, and open the till and take 100 rands. And then when the books don't balance, you even forgot what you took. So structure is so important.
So important.
Hi, my name is Tlengiwe Malaji. I am an IT project manager working in the property space. Thanks, Nyimpini, for holding these spaces, and thanks, Theo, for sharing yourself. You said that you saw your community struggling and you wanted to make a difference by creating sustainable jobs, but you also had to ensure that then Bathu works. Like, you had to leave accounting and make sure that Bathu works actually for you to actually achieve that. So when you left the accounting to pursue Bathu full-time, did you know that it would work? So just two questions. What gave you the courage to start selling the shoes instead of the accounting? And did you know that it would work, and how? Thanks.
Okay, we'll allow this one, but please ask one question so we can democratize. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you for a beautiful question. So, you know, for me, when I started the business, I actually used to buy a lot of sneakers. Self-proclaimed sneakerhead. You know, so I used to buy a lot of sneakers. So towards end of 2015, I had this valuable collection. And, you know, there's a saying that says, if you're buying too much of something, why not own it? If you're consuming too much of something, why not try to be part of the value chain or contribute to that sector? So that was the passion that drove me, you know, to sneakers, from finance or accounting to sneakers, because I used to buy a lot of sneakers. I love sneakers. I love everything that has to do with, you know, trendy sneakers and the trend. And at the back end of it, there was a big ask from the people that have paid it forward for me. where we come from in the townships, we are taught that when someone has helped you, you need to go back and express a sense of gratitude and appreciate the help. So I went to people who have, who believed in me, being Kim Fenberg at Tomorrow Trust, who gave me 100% bursary. Niels Nell, who was my partner at PwC, who gave me great opportunities within the firm, not only in South Africa, abroad. And when I went to those people, when I had a mentor, Richard Asherson, who mentored me, took his time during weekends. He used to work for Industech, he now lives in London. But every Sunday, he dedicate one Sunday in a month, to have breakfast with me. And I get excited to go to Mac and Bean and have English breakfast that someone is going to pay for.
Yeah.
That was great. This
Amazing.
guy dedicated at least an hour or two of his Sundays without fail for me. So all the time when I went back to those people to say thank you, that was met by one big ask. That Theo, we didn't help you because we wanted you to pay us back. We helped you because we believe in you. The only thing they can do for us is to pay it forward. So I had to pay it forward. I think that was the heart of this business, that I'm ought to do something. As to what it is, how big it gets, where it takes me, I'll see, right?
It didn't have to be the shoes.
It didn't have to be the shoes. So, it became the shoes because I love the shoes.
Yeah.
And it became Bathu because I come from Alex.
Yeah.
And I'm not tone deaf to the state of affairs of my community. And it became a passion project.
Wow.
Right? You know that chicken licking ad with a craving.
Yeah.
And then it grows, the craving grows. Bathu became that. The more I thought about it, the craving got bigger, the desire got bigger, the calling got bigger, the purpose got bigger, the impact got bigger. And I did it every single day, even when I was employed, till it became the Bathu that it is today.
Fantastic. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Next question.
Well, good evening. My name is Xolisile Nene. I am a new acquisitions banker in one of the financial services in South Africa. Very inspiring conversation you're having, Nyimpini and Theo. My question is, at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, well, what we see is that businesses tend to struggle with working capital. I'm curious, how did you manage that in the early days of your business? And as you scaled, how did you then also manage growing sustainably so that you don't reach or experience crash crunch because you're growing too rapidly? Thank you.
And I think this is such a beautiful question because it goes back to those vulnerabilities, right? What entrepreneurs go through. Because people now, you go to Bathu, they'll tell you, go to finance, this is what our payment cycle looks like. There's payroll, processes, payroll team from human capital. There's a budget allocated, for the quarter, whatever. But let me tell you something, that's not how Bathu started. That struggle of Theo, a private wealth account, FNB, depositing into Bathu Swag, and then Bathu Swag depositing into Theo's personal account. It happened. And I went through that, right? Yeah. That battle at the beginning. And that's some of the things that people don't talk about. Yeah. Because now they will tell you about Bathu finance team, and you look at it, it looks nice, everything else is, there's policies and processes. But that's not how it started. It's funny, I never told the story before, actually never shared this. It got so bad because I had exhausted my savings trying to push this thing. Good cousin of mine, it's two stories actually, I'll make it short. Yeah, sure, go for it. I was so broke, didn't have money because I spent everything else. My cousin and I had ordered boxes. It was 100 boxes. And these guys who do our boxes, they one of our suppliers still today. They gave me a shot, but they didn't want to release the boxes because I owed them 5,000 rand. And I called my cousin. He gave me the 5,000 rand. I even actually asked him to pay directly, the service provider. My phone was blocked because I didn't pay MTN. Their monthly subscription. Yeah. And those guys, can you believe it? Yeah. They closed my phone, shut it up. No games,
All within these 10 years.
Yeah.
Eh? Yeah.
That was at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's so funny how now I actually do business with MTN through corporate sales.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
I've seen the whole MTN conference.
Yes.
That Charles was hosting, the CEO.
Absolutely.
They were all wearing Bathu.
100%.
But look at that.
You know, but my point is, right?
Amazing.
There was never really a strategy or a plan. It's
Yeah.
the realities of what starting a business in South Africa looks like.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage everyone that when you're going through that, don't look at the Bathus and the business of this world and think that we all had it figured out.
Yeah.
We went through that journey and there
Yeah.
was really no plan.
Yeah.
It was, you had to survive. It was survival mode.
Yeah.
You need to borrow money if you have to borrow money. You need to, you know, sacrifice wherever you need to sacrifice. I'm not saying
Yeah.
don't pay school fees, but
Yeah.
you know, if you have to pay school fees, but you need to do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You know, to support your dream.
No, but this is a very important part because sometimes we want it all, and yet we hear these stories about people starting businesses in the garages of their mom's home. And those are the people who were working before and had their own apartments, but had to downgrade. To, you know, and then we have pressure of the Jones. But my friends, and then you would have seen that, because
Sure.
I mean, the people that you were at PwC with were now growing and they had nice cars and they were now, and you were struggling, setting it up. But that's the balance and the sacrifice you have to make. And you just reminded me of the triple F of entrepreneurship. They said in your early stages, you get financed by triple F: friends, family, and fools. So now where you get to the family and friends and people who will back you, even if the money doesn't come back, but they just believe in you. Fantastic.
Good evening. My name is Tabelo, and I must say, Theo, that your story and your achievements are very inspiring. I believe that any leader is defined by their habits. So my question is, what is that one habit that helps you to show up every day?
Sure, that's such a good question.
You've had many of those today. Welcome to CEO Night.
Thank you. I've actually never thought, I've never deliberated or asked myself that, right? But I think one thing that, I don't know if we should call it a habit, but I think obsession. You know, I'm a kind of guy who gets like, when I want to do something, I get obsessed by, you know, seeing it coming alive. Like when I believe in something or that conviction, that I want to see it, you know, coming alive, right? And again, because of maybe my point of reference, coming from corporate, I show up all the time. You know what I mean? I think the show up thing, whether it's in favorable and unfavorable times, I'm a show up guy. I don't shy away from having honest conversation. I don't shy away from failing. I don't shy away from not doing well. And I think that's the thing, when something is not working out. And I also don't shy away from not knowing. I'm not a know-it-all type of guy. I ask for help internally. Like I said earlier on, if I've got a challenge, I even reach out, you know, to people that I look up to, you know. So I think it's a good habit of, like, you know, trying to always show up, being obsessed, and not shying away, you know, from the difficult things.
You talk a lot about what you've learned from corporate that has helped you be successful as an entrepreneur. The other way around is also true. And having seen it from a corporate perspective, what are we as corporate executives missing or could learn from entrepreneurs? What are some of the things that you like, now that I know this, would have been very useful in corporate, and this is something that perhaps entrepreneurs can teach corporate?
Yeah, I think it's, this might sound wrong, but I think it's fun and flexibility. Because I feel like sometimes corporate execs is, it's about, it's about, you know, the bottom line. KPIs. Team, you need to do this. Because I've got board tomorrow. The board is going to ask me about this, you know? So if it's not like Angeli logo. You know, that kind of, you know, it's like, this is it, and we can't dress it up however way. It needs to be done this way. So I think
that's
fun.
true.
And you know, just having that element of fun. And flexibility.
Taking the structure too far.
Too far.
We're just being too structured that we even forget to smile.
Yeah. Because entrepreneurs...
Even the dancing in parties is choreographed.
Yeah. Exactly, right? Yeah, because if you think about entrepreneurship, right? An entrepreneur will do anything to succeed, however way. Some entrepreneurs even sell you services and products they don't have. Yeah. And then they will find a way to get it later, once the deal is done. But corporate will say, no, HR, I'll get in trouble. Human capital, I need to declare it. I need to declare it with HR, you know? So it's that. Some entrepreneurs have fun. Like the adrenaline and the pressures of, you know, trying to make it happen.
Yeah, but these days in corporate, I believe you don't have to declare it with HR. You just have to take HR to Coldplay. Wow, ladies and gents.
Thank you.
We can go on and on and on and on, but as you heard, Theo says he spent his downtime chilling with family, so we don't want to take away any more of that time. He's been very generous for us. He has to retailers do something called cash up. He has to go and cash up now as the stores are closed. But Theo, thank you so much. This has been encouraging. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, just
and a standing ovation. So.